What's going on, everybody? RedWolfVion here. In today's our community spotlight, we have the esteemed individual, TheOtherMC. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, I'm MC. Howdy, howdy, howdy.
It's good to have you here. You doing all right?
Oh, I'm doing the best I can.
Hey, that's what I love to hear. So, hopefully, as you may or may not know, for those also watching, the idea of these videos in this little mini series is to kind of, shine some light on some other content creators for Gundam games out there. The other MC is, I'll say you may have not seen them around the channel that much, but perhaps in the future you could see them around a little bit more. Some GBO2 vids, or who knows, some, other videos. But mostly we'll like to get to know the other MC just a little bit more. So it's going to be fun for me and hopefully fun for you. And after all is said and done, we can walk away with some more knowledge as well as, some more love both our ways. So we'll jump into it. So first and foremost, you're here because you're a Gundam fan. I want to know exactly, MC. Can I call you MC? MC's cool, right?
Call me whatever you want, baby.
All right, there we go. That's the vibe I'm looking for. Hey, so what got you into the Gundam franchise, and how long have you been a part of the franchise, like a fan of it?
Well, Vion, RedWolfVion. I, like many others, was a young American lad, barely knee-high in the good old early aughts. And I was coming home after school to watch my Digimans and my Fox Kids and my X-Men the animated series. And one day this fascinating thing showed up on Cartoon Network. And it's a promo for this program called Gundam Breaker. Because that was the very start of Toonami. I had seen little snippets of Moltar do his thing with Sailor Moon and such beforehand, never gave it much mind. But this Peter Cullen narrated promo, documenting each of the 5 pilots' different commercials as the timer for how many days for the show premiere would count down, just fascinated the crap out of me. And I would just catch that every single day after school. I would try to hit reruns as much as I could. When Endless Waltz first aired, we went down to Walmart and I found myself some cheapo model kits, those old high grades. Not even high grades, the old 1144s, which I and a cousin would then put together with my teeth because we were tiny savages. And I just kind of stuck with the series from there. I would kind of drift in and out of it a bit until actually I mid-adolescence found my way onto M, of all places, the mecha board of 4chan, and then I just dove really into all the rest of the books. Not just watching the OVAs at Toonami, 83, and that's all the stuff they repeat, which is awesome, but really digging into it, and it hasn't really let go of me either since.
That's really cool. I love hearing. So, not everyone, but a lot of people say they've definitely found their love or their footing in Gundam thanks to Toonami. So a lot of people don't realize how thankful we are to have Toonami, Cartoon Network, doing that. Was really, really dope. And I also remember the promos as well, and it's just that narrative voice is just like, it's something you never forget. Those 20 to minute long promos, just it hyped it up. It's just like, man, and it gives you chills because you know what's up, and you get sucked into one series, and next thing you know, down the road you'll see Gundam Seed and then Gundam Bill Fighters and Double O.
They follow with Seed.
Yeah,
alright, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's really cool to hear that, and you've been with it ever since. So thank you for that.
I'm a gross old man, and I still love giant robots.
Hey, nothing's wrong with loving giant robots, okay? Okay, everyone who's watching, nothing's wrong with loving giant robots. All right, let's get that out. So I mentioned before we started, I know you're not around to play GBO2 often, not saying you don't play it, but I will say that I know you from playing more of the Breaker series, specifically Gundam Breaker Mobile. So can I ask you what got you into the Breaker series as a whole? Maybe it be mobile or the previous Breaker games?
Yes, I am a filthy secondary who first started day one Breaker Mobile because it was available for my phone. I knew about New Breaker. I looked into it. It was garbage. I knew about Breaker since it was coming out, but I never had access to those Breaker games. Breaker Mobile was my first real chance to get a taste of that, and it was good. Since then, I have backtracked into Breaker 2, into Breaker 3. Every 8 months on a new moon, I will boot up New Breaker to try to salvage something from it and just end up crying after. But Breaker Mobile has just hooked into me, and it's something I participate in every day. I own and run the largest Breaker Mobile Discord we have for the North American community, and I absolutely adore the community and player base that I am part of. Something about just the box of Legos they give you for this game, and having to put together the puzzle pieces to make every part, every trait, every activation condition work, just fires those neurons and chems those chemicals.
That's pretty sweet because I know we spoke, before we started recording just a little bit, but you spoke to your love of New Gundam Breaker. Wink, wink.
Oh yeah.
Just,
I think there's so many perfectly good ideas in that game that happens to be attached to a game that's not fun to play.
Right.
Which is an amazing accomplishment on their part. What was it? Craftonworks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you made a product that doesn't work as a consumer product. Congratulations. I think the build engine is the most gorgeous thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
I think the PvP is the only way that Breaker PvP can work. Objective scoring based with a third neutral party where someone casting Bisect on you doesn't mean the day.
Mm-hmm.
Smart play can come out in the end. Just again is attached to a big stinky dump turd that does not feel good to give you game feedback.
And unfortunately, I share similar sentiments because being that I played all the Gundam Breakers as well. And when New Gundam Breaker came out, I was like, yo, we're finally getting the West. Let's go. And, when we played the beta, I was like, it's just the beta. We still have room for improvement, right? But it definitely feels like the building in there was awesome. I love that we had so many more suits from all these series in here. And all this, I was like, yo, this is so cool. Yes, you had so many parts, and it was like, you made the example of like Legos. It's like, imagine playing Gundam Breaker 3 and then going to New Gundam Breaker, like, dude, I have like 3 times the parts. I have the power, and it's like super exciting. But when you get to the core, like the basis gameplay, it doesn't feel like cohesive. Like it's really fun to build, but it's not as fun to play as it is to build.
They built a game entirely around the 3v3 component, which would work if there was actually a working game there. I understand a lot of the choices they made. The conscious choice to make almost every part, have identical stats, so you could use whatever you wanted visually and still have fun with it.
Yep.
Is great. That's evolved into skins and Breaker Mobile.
Mm-hmm.
But it just doesn't work otherwise in NGB. NGB bad game.
Well, that's definitely something that hopefully we get another Gundam Breaker game in the future that'll right the wrongs and give us what we want.
Hold on, John. Hold your horses, John Bamco. Before you head off on that, make sure it please has mobile integration so we don't waste the last 3 years of gameplay. At least let us port our skins or our paint schemes or something. Thank you, John.
I think that would be really dope if you are able to import and get like special rewards for playing mobile. At least that'll be really neat.
I don't need all my parts. I understand there's compromises that need to be made.
Mm-hmm.
But at least let me take my skins with me.
So that's really dope. should that happen. And that skin system in Gundam Breaker Mobile is something that's very neat, and you can be cool looking and use whatever parts you want and not worry about too much. So more talk about Gundam Breaker series here. Generally in Gundam Breaker, what is your favorite type of build? Do you like to build tanky suits, fast suits, glass cannons? Like, what's your favorite personal build?
Goofball wacky BS mechanics. The gimmick with a capital G. While there's a lot of things that do work in that game, and generally defense or reduction traits fully, or cooldown reduction triggers or something, cooldown builds are going to be the king of most content. There's something else about trying to take the underutilized strategies and traits and mechanics and make them work properly that gets those neurons firing. Stuff like stacking enough flat damage boosts with enough magazine skills that shoot out a crap ton of projectiles to do similar damage as a 100k Gunpla, attack Gunpla, with something with only 10k, because I'm making that up with flat damage that calculates its increase after the rest of it. Using, God forbid, debuffs to affect the entire field and bring their offenses down to 0 instead of bringing my defense up is fun. 100% flinch reduction, where I can leverage the advantages of different skills that normally would not be viable because you get flinched out of them incredibly easily by running these traits or these EX skills instead that make it so I don't have that reaction to hits, so I can get these underutilized skills off in the first place. I like pushing the limits of what you can actually do in this. Huge nerd. The answer is huge nerd.
So it definitely sounds. I like your answer, because not only do you challenge the game, you challenge yourself, right? Because you said you get the neurons just popping off, and knowing, like, I've never thought about it like that. Because, you know, people are like, oh man, I can make a suit would give me all this defense buff, and so I don't die in one hit. Or you can make a suit that strips the enemies of all their offensive power, so therefore you really don't have to worry about, you know, being a thick boy. You can still run that DPS and that debuff and put in work, maybe for you or your teammates. And it's really funny, because we'll actually probably have some footage of some of the games we play while we're talking about this, so you can see the viability, I'll say, how viable some of these builds can be, because it rewards creativity. And I love it when people strive to be very creative with their builds.
It rewards spending for big butt stats, pay up piggy, but it also rewards creativity in other ways to get you different avenues of fun.
That's
it's still
really
a gacha, first and foremost. Don't forget that.
Yeah. Breaker Mobile is totally a gacha. A gacha is a dangerous game, because legit they'd be like, I got you. So,
but
you
there's
know,
plenty. That was chill. But there's still plenty of. I don't want to keep saying fun, but it is. There's plenty of creative choices to be had just by laying out all those puzzle pieces you have in front of you, and just trying to see what can fit together. That's why I kind of like building stuff in Breaker Mobile more than Breaker 3, even though Breaker 3 is by every definition more kinetic, involved, and funner action game.
Right, and I get it, because, like, Gundam Breaker 3 is fun to play, right? Whereas New Gundam Breaker, if you could give me the system from New Gundam Breaker, well, like, you know, like the parts and building in New Gundam Breaker, and give me the gameplay of Breaker 3, I think then we would have like a titan of a Gundam action game. You know what I'm saying?
With the roster of GBM, because there's some real bangers in there.
Dude, yeah, it's wild. I was almost overwhelmed just trying to log in back. I was like, dude, there's so many suits. Like, I don't know what's going on anymore.
When
like,
Crossbow and Dust was ending, we got a free anchor in game. Something I would never dream to see in any other game, even G Generation. There was some brave and crazy intern who proposed the idea for Go from X, and we got it. Something that doesn't actually have any physical plastic representation, either model kit or action. I don't even think it has an MSIA.
I'm unfamiliar with that information regarding that particular suit, but knowing that they're debuting suits that don't have any presence anywhere else, and mobile is actually very dope because the sky's the limit at this point, and I've seen like contests where people. Yeah, they've definitely done it. I've seen contests where the winners they replicate their Gunpla in CGI or little videos. And I think that is so cool. Like seeing them do that with Gundam Breaker Mobile is probably hands down that's like a dream thing, and that's where we need to be, and that's where I think we're headed right now in the West, because it took us for the longest time to get more Gundam games over here in the West, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
We had that golden age of PS2 imports that were absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, most definitely. We've always had Gundam games come out every so often, but I think PlayStation 2 had like a nice era of PlayStation.
And then
stuff.
past that gen, there was a drought of anything worthwhile.
Yeah, and outside of that, you would get one Extreme Versus every generation. So. That's like a whole nother story there. That's really cool. All right, so we're gonna move a little bit more about what would you do, what would you like, but Gundam Breaker aside, do you have like a favorite Gundam series suit? I'll give you two choices, like any series, any suit, or mobile armor, or grunt unit. What are your top two?
No, I absolutely hate this question. I don't. It fluctuates so goddamn much. I could build you a quarterly top 5. Some things may stay the same in there, but it's gonna keep swapping in and out. I do know one thing that will always be up there is gonna be Gun Cannon.
Shoutouts to Gun Cannon.
In my late adolescent life, I tried to figure out what like my taste was. I tried to figure out what I liked in machines and such, and I eventually gravitated to and settled on big honkin' shoulder cannons. And realized that Gun Cannon has always been there for me. Kai is a real one. Amuro taking it out in Sayla's Agony, when he just absolutely clowns on Rawl's goof with it. And he just like karate kicks that Zaku into a pile of scrap. The gun cannon's just cool. 107, 108 back to back and about cool. The gun cannon is just cool. It's everything that's cool about the Gundam without being a prissy little diva. Because he has to be the main character. Gramps. But it would stay in any top 5 I make. It might not always be one, but it's going to be in every single one.
That's fair. And so, following that, do you have another close to that? One of your most recent, and you can tell us why it's been up there recently.
I suppose Boundock will fit in there somewhere. Just because it's a big claw lobster, not a crab, don't at me.
Claw lobster.
And it's just this menacing thing. Whether Gates is using it, whether Rosamia's using it, whether Jared is using his last desperate struggle, it's just this monster of a mobile suit that barely qualifies as with a big old claw to dunk people with. I always liked it, but it was Versus and Mbon where I could dunk people with the dock that set it up for me.
I hated it so much. I was about to say, I was like, man, it in the Versus series when it was always been a pain to fight, just because it's like
it's a very simple kit.
Yeah,
it has nice tools to keep you away. and then when you do get close, you get dunked straight into the ground.
The amount of disrespect that I have been served by that suit is, it's very, very, very large. It's a lot of disrespect. Gosh, that freaking suit, dude. Okay, so
And I guess just because we can, I'm a gigantic Reco stan, so I guess we can shove G-Self in there somewhere, Rectin especially, and then the obligatory heavy arms from when I was 14.
So okay, that makes that makes perfect sense. No, so heavy arms is an awesome suit. Okay, like let's just get that out of the way. Like no matter what, like I love the base idea behind heavy arms. It's just
It was
really
always
dope.
my choice.
It's really dope. You know what I'm saying? It's always gonna you can't hate heavy arms. You know what I'm saying? It's just cool.
I always got sad when I
Especially
would play. Oh, go on. Sorry.
no, I was especially because it's a ballistic suit, and now I feel as if ballistic Gundams aren't as popular as they used to be. You know what I'm saying? And that is like, you know, I got bigger bullets, rockets, missiles, all of it. But yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I always got sad when I would play Endless Duel on my totally legitimate SNES cartridge, and not as the NES emulator on a flash stick at school.
Mm-hmm.
And heavy arms would have like the lowest base stat total of everyone on that character select.
Mm-hmm.
Despite how cool he was, he never excelled over anyone else, and that made me sad.
Like it got the you know, the redheaded stepchild treatment, as some would say.
It's still great.
It's awesome suit. So, you know, talking about, you know, all these suits from all these different series, the final Gundam question for you, my dude. If you were placed into a Gundam series timeline, my guy, what series would it be and why?
Rotato. Okay, so I've been thinking about this one. And I've been thinking about it because it seems like a crazy person question.
Mm-hmm.
This is any series as is with the setting intact.
Any series.
That's insane to pick anything but build. Why would I want to live in any of those shit?
Why do I want to live in a world with war, you know?
The entire message is war is bad and everyone is having a bad time. Why do I want to be part of everyone? I want to play with my toys. Sounds like you fainted.
No, you're very good here. It's just something I'll you know what? I might keep that in because I hit my mic, like my phone fell and I had to pick it up. But anyway, so build fighters try.
You know what? Drop me into beginning G.
Beginning. Okay.
Contrarian.
Okay. Wow, my man's
It's
dropping
still
me
how
G.
I'm living now, except you can rent a pilot suit and look like a dork for an hour and no one cares.
Hey, look, I think G would be fun to run around in, but it's interesting because
Do you remember the first episode of G? They're starving orphans in Italy.
I'm trying to think because no, I was
I'm not
thinking
gonna be rich enough to live in the colonies.
I was about to say, yeah, we're about to be on Earth. Like we're about to be on Earth where everybody fights and all that stuff.
Not only that, there's like clowns with guns everywhere. Earth is terrible.
Yeah, it sucks. You know, just take me back to Build Fighters, bro. Let's just go back to Build Fighters and call it a day. That's all we need to do.
Now, secondary
Yeah.
might be Reguild. Because the Reco timeline, which is still technically UC, but far enough into UC, where everyone is bad at war, and all that nonsense is happening above me, while I just work 9 to 5 days a week, and then just have, like, drunk drug orgies on Sundays. Supportism is pretty cool there. Supportism is pretty cool. You don't have to worry about too much in the next immediate future, because it's forbidden to do so otherwise.
Yep.
And you just get to Mardi Gras every weekend.
Every
Baseball
weekend,
weekends.
bro. That's kind of dope because it's like work, party, chill. Work, party, chill. You know, so
That's
like
how they do it in the Capitol Tower.
so,
Sending the batteries to space.
I think this is the first time I've heard that one, and I think I absolutely love your answer for that. All right, so I know we're getting closer towards the time here, so I have one more question here for you, specifically in this. what other games do you like to play that are non-Gundam related, or are there any other Gundam non-Gundam
Oh,
games
they
you
all
like
are.
to play?
It's a deep hole you can't climb out of.
Mm.
I'm still playing. Pretty much all I ever touch for at least time where I have free time to explore other titles and other games.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be my dailies in GBM. It's gonna be all my GBM responsibilities where I cover the game, I make content for it.
Mm-hmm.
I write reviews for parts every single week when the banners come out.
Mm-hmm.
I currently just reached over 300 of them, by the way. Don't act like you're not impressed.
Congrats! I am impressed. No, I'm
also doing my GBO2 dailies. I'm also messing around on MBON. I'm also staring at the pile of PS2 games on my shelf and thinking, like, you know what? I really want to play Neverending Tomorrow, but I never hooked up the PS2 to do so, so that just away. Otherwise, D2. I have an uncomfortable amount of hours in Destiny 2, and Destiny 1 as a whole. It's an abusive relationship for the past 8 years, no matter how it wrongs me. There's nothing else like it. There's nothing else that feels as good, unlike New Breaker. And then just, whatever I have going on. As far as progressive MMOs or big time things go, it's that good Gundam stuff, and it's D2.
Yeah, that's what's up. Shout outs to D2. That game's been around for a hot minute. That series itself, I've always played Destiny.
Week 1.
Giving it time and taking breaks. And every so often I'll update it and get back to it.
Let's see. Clickety click click clack clack. Just loading up Wasted on Destiny real quick. And according to people, I currently have. Let's see here. Between both D1 and D2 on both consoles, I have played this on.
Here we go.
Roughly rounding about to
3,000 hours.
4,000.
Dang!
1,600 on D2. 634 on D1 Xbox, and 324 on D1 PS4.
Bruh, I respect you, my dude. I respect you.
I'm somehow, despite my heat map being cold as a moon for some months at a time in recent seasons, I'm still somehow in the top 14% of players for D2 playtime.
See, ladies and gentlemen, this is how you play D2. You snort it, you live it, you let it become your life.
And then you just take a nap from it for a while, because you're just not feeling this season of Pirates.
Yeah. So, MC, this was pretty dope, dude. I've learned some things about you, and I'm kind of feeling it. So, before we get, in this little session of ours, where can people find you and your content, dude?
You can find me on YouTube under my name, where I have an exhaustive library of EX skill animations, EX part showcases, where I talk about quirky things in Breaker Mobile, and a bunch of other videos no one's going to watch. Or you could find me at the Discord, which is actually the, as far as I know, largest North American community for Breaker Mobile. Discord.gg/GBM, your one stop for tips, tricks, stats, and strats.
I love it. I will also have these links in the description of this video, as well as the spotlight videos that will follow this. MC, thank you so much for setting aside the time to get up with your boy and chit chat.
And everybody, like, sub, and subscribe to this man here, Vion, and also me out of pity, because I'm here too.
Out of pity. Nah, bro. Y'all make sure you show our homie MC some love. Click those links.
This is the end game. This is all for engagement. You fell for it, dummies.
Yeah, we've got you. We're here now.
Idiots.
All right. So, everyone watching, I want to say thank you so much. I love you to death. And as usual, that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to let MC sign off and say what you got to say. Take it away, MC.
Be excellent to each other.
Peace.